In the world of AI ethics, there's this really comfortable idea that we can basically code our way out of any problem. That for every single bias, every privacy risk, there's a better algorithm just around the corner that's going to fix it. But what if that core assumption isn't just a little bit off, but actually dangerous? Let's dig into that. So we're jumping into a fascinating paper from the journal Wisdom and Philosophy. It's by Mohammad Ali Ashouri Kisomi, and it's called Convergence of Privacy and Transparency: Limitations of Artificial Intelligence Design. It really takes aim at this popular idea that we can just design our way out of AI's ethical messes. And the author argues this total reliance on technical fixes, it might just be a dead end. The author gives this idea a name: the convergence myth. It's this deep-seated belief that our technical progress will, eventually, solve all the ethical headaches it creates. You've probably heard of this before. It's a kind of techno-solutionism. The idea that for every complex social problem, there's a neat, clean technological solution. But this paper's whole point is that when it comes to AI ethics, that way of thinking is seriously flawed. To really build this case, the author zooms in on two of the most talked about values in AI ethics: privacy and transparency. Now, the conventional wisdom says these two go hand in hand, that they're allies. But this paper, it starts questioning that very foundation.
On the surface, it makes total sense, right? If things are more transparent, we can see how our data is being used, and that should, in theory, protect our privacy. But just think about it for a second. Is that always true? The paper argues this relationship is way more complicated, and sometimes making something more transparent can actually put privacy in direct conflict.
And here's where you really see that tension. Transparency is all about making processes easy to understand. Privacy is about protecting data and controlling who gets to see it. The author makes a powerful point. These two goals don't just automatically line up. In fact, if you push for absolute total transparency, you could actually weaken privacy by exposing a system's inner workings for anyone, including bad actors, to see and exploit. Okay, so to really get to the heart of why this is such a problem, we have to flip the script and talk about the opposite of transparency: opacity. That's the whole reason we can't always see what an AI is doing. But as we're about to find out, not all opacity is the same. The paper argues that this whole black box problem isn't just one single thing. Instead, the author breaks down opacity into three really distinct layers, and each one brings its own unique ethical challenge to the table. So check out these three shades. First up, there's shallow opacity. This one isn't even a technical issue. It's all about power. The system is perfectly clear to the people who built it, but it's completely hidden from the users whose data is being gobbled up. Then you have standard opacity. This is the classic black box we always hear about, where even the experts who designed the neural network can't fully trace how it reached a specific decision. And finally, you have the most difficult one: deep opacity. This is the wild problem of unknown unknowns lurking in these gigantic data sets. We literally can't get informed consent for patterns and insights we don't even know exist yet, which kind of makes true consent impossible in some situations. Okay, so if the problem of opacity is this complicated, this multi-layered, can a purely technical fix really solve it? Well, the author argues a firm no. And this is where the critique gets broader than just privacy and transparency and takes on that whole techno-solutionist approach. The paper lays out three really powerful criticisms. First, the quantification challenge. How on earth do you take a complex, qualitative human value like dignity or informed consent and translate it into precise mathematical code without losing its very essence? Second, there are technical limitations. Explainability is not the same as justification. Just because we know how an AI made a decision, that doesn't automatically make the decision ethically right. And third, what the author calls meta-ethical dead ends. An AI trained on our past ethical data learns what we did, not necessarily what we should do. It basically locks in our past biases and leaves the AI completely unprepared for the new ethical dilemmas of the future. And this quote from the paper's abstract just sums it all up perfectly. The author's conclusion is crystal clear. It is not possible to respond to the ethical challenges of AI only by relying on design. Relying on technical fixes alone is just not gonna cut it. So if design isn't the whole answer, then what is? Well, the paper doesn't just tear things down. It actually proposes a more complete, a more holistic way of moving forward. The paper's conclusion is that the solution isn't some technical silver bullet. It's really a three-part strategy. Yes, ethical design is absolutely crucial. It's 1/3 of the puzzle. but it has to work hand in hand with robust legislation that sets clear, enforceable rules. And just as importantly, with real progress and insights from other sciences, like sociology, philosophy, psychology, to help us truly understand the deep human impact of these technologies. And that really leaves us with the critical question at the very heart of this paper. It forces all of us to move beyond this purely technical mindset. Because if we accept that we can't just code a conscience into a machine, then that responsibility shifts right back to where it belongs, to us, to the designers, to the regulators, to policymakers, and frankly, to all of us as a society. This paper is a real challenge to think bigger than the code itself.